Hi, everybody. Welcome to Grab a Cup of Knit and Chat, episode 32, I do believe. Today is May 25th, 2025. It is Sunday. Tomorrow in the US is Memorial Day. So it's been a long weekend here, and it's really been kind of busy here for me. So grab yourself something cold or hot to drink, and we will catch up a little bit. First, I'm going to take my glasses off because I know it makes a bad glare. I have in my chug mug, I just made myself a homemade caramel latte, so to speak. So I have that. And then I have my Izzy sparkling blackberry water. So, what do we want to talk about first? It's been a month since I did a video, and that's because the last one would have went up 2 weeks ago, which in the US was Mother's Day weekend. Because our children are spread out all over and they have their own families that the kids want to spend time with their moms and stuff like that. We don't really do a whole lot. Excuse me. I require a phone call. And flowers would be nice, but in my family we don't just celebrate the special commercial holidays. So like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. We don't do a lot. Sometimes we'll give things, but we don't usually give a lot, so to speak. We try to do for birthdays, and we try to show our appreciation each day for one another. Here with me and my partner, he likes to cook, or he says he likes to cook, but he cooks. I work. I do little things like I'll help out here and there. I'm not very good at doing things during the week because I work 4 10-hour days, and by the time I drive an hour to work and work 10 hours and then drive an hour home, I'm wiped. So anything that I do is usually on my 3 days off. But needless to say, we show appreciation every day. We don't just do it on special days. But for Mother's Day, I put up a picture where we were at Mount Adams in Washington State. We went camping. My request was to go camping, and we went. That's not where we started out going. We were going just outside of Sisters, Oregon, and we took a road and we saw awesome scenes, and we saw places that I never would have thought would have been in Oregon. And then we went up around by Mount Hood and up into Washington, stayed a couple of days there by Mount Adams, was going to take a couple of the back ways around and come back down, but the roads were closed due to snow. And one of them doesn't even open until July the 1st, or around July the 1st. And the other one opens April 1st, but it was still covered with snow. So we just kind of backtracked a little bit, stopped and got fish and chips for dinner at the cutest little pub in Tualatin, Oregon. Amazing. It's called Ye Old Pub, and it's awesome. So if you're ever in Oregon, close to Portland, make that 15-20 minute drive to Tualatin and go to Ye Old Pub. It was so good. And they were so friendly, and they were a little bit busy, but they weren't greatly busy. But they kept apologizing about the wait. We got there, we were waited on immediately. It might have been, I want to say it was less than 10 minutes for them to cook our food. It come out steaming hot. It was awesome. They were on top of it, and they were talking about how slow they were. Amazing, amazing people. Okay, now that I've gushed about the fish and chips, um, what else? Uh, Other than that, I was gonna do a video last weekend, and then I got to thinking, no, I'll just go ahead and wait. So I'm doing it this weekend. I thought I would have more to show, and I do not. So I'm sorry. But, excuse me, I do have, let's see if I can pull up a picture. I need to put this in the I have made instead of in the favorites, because I have things in bundles on my Ravelry page. But this is Joji Locatelli's Traveling Solo. It's a one skein shawl, and it's awesome. Although I did mess up, and I had to go on the second lace repeat, and I had to go back, and I went all the way back to where I started with the lace repeat, and I counted. I had the correct number, and I was doing a cross, and I still came up wrong on the repeat. So I don't think you can really see it. So I finished this yesterday. It dried overnight because I blocked it. So I just have my two little ends to weave in. This is, and it smells like jasmine. Oh my God, it smells so good. This is it. This is out of Fiber Hustle fingering weight yarn. I got it at Flock last year. It is a little busy, but, and I can't tell you the colorway name. It's actually this way, not the other way. I was showing it to you upside down. So you start with a garter tab cast on, and then you go up to the edge. I only have the start and the end to weave in because I wanted to block it out before I wove in the ends. I don't have the tab for this yarn. I was trying to find it. I don't know what happened to it, but this is what it looks like on. Now, I like this little shawl, but the issue that I have with it, other than I messed up on that one section and I couldn't fix it, and you really can't tell, is it is rather small. But it's cute. And if you have something, you're just sitting in a car and want something over, or you're wanting to wrap something around, what do they do, like this? I don't know how to style these little wraps. I'm not good at it. It's good for that. I don't wear them usually. I'm trying to see how she has it in the pictures. I guess if you like do something like that, it would work. For me, something like this is going to be worn like this. If I have it and I need it, I'm going to have it over, most likely. That's where I get, like, if I'm sitting out at a bonfire or something and I have something on, but my head's cold, you know, I don't know. I wanted to try a bunch of one skein shawls, and this was the first one that I got done. Love it. I think it's cute. This is one of her pictures on her Ravelry page. I think if it wasn't so bright colored, maybe it would be different. I'm pretty sure it's going to wind out, and this is just because of the way that I blocked it, that it has that point at the bottom on the edge, because I was trying to block out all the lace and the rope stitches. But I'm sure one of my coworkers would like it and would want it. But it smells so good. I think it's the Eucalyptus Jasmine. Ugh. And my Alpine Bloom is going to smell awesome as well, because I have it soaking in that jasmine scent too. I've worn it so much, and it has so much cat hair on it, and it just needed to freshen up that I just threw it in that wash this morning, since I was already blocking things. Second, I have some socks made out of Superba Vintage. You can see that. That's what this is. It's a woolly wool. Let me see. 75% virgin wool, 25% polyamide. I made my partner some socks. These are just vanilla socks. Afterthought heel. I just let it go where it went. I just did, what did I do? This one I did a 3x1 rib on. So we'll see how that works. I'm going to take one off the sock blocker, not both of them. I did a 3x1 rib. That was something new for me. Probably about a 60 round leg, afterthought heel. Did I do the rounded toe? I don't remember. It's been a month and I didn't write it down, so I don't remember. I guess that's where being in the habit of putting all of your stuff on Ravelry would be very awesome. And I think I probably should start doing that. I really wish I hadn't lost that ball band from my shawl yarn, because that was so cool. Getting it from Fiber Hustle at Flock last year. And I keep dropping everything. Anybody going to Flock this year? I've already got my room set up. I got my train ticket bought. I'm going with a coworker and maybe 2 other coworkers, but the other 2 coworkers don't knit or crochet. They just want to go hang out for the weekend, and they would be exploring Seattle while we're at the fiber show, and then we'll meet up and have fun for dinner. It's August 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then these are my Beetlejuice socks. I've put a couple of different pictures while I was knitting these. They're just plain vanilla socks. I did a 2x2 ribbing, probably about 20 rows it looks like. I haven't woven in the ends. I did my standard 60 round leg. This one I did a heel flap and gusset. I did 65 rounds for the foot, and then my regular toe decreases. Nothing special, but these are from Always Be Kind Yarn. Love her. Highly suggest. I don't really follow a pattern for these. I have used, I do use Summer Lee's It's So Basic sock pattern for the heel flap and gusset. I just started doing the heel flap and gusset, so we'll see how that works. Since I was told that I could up my needle size, and I think I do, yeah, I just went up to I use a US 1 for my socks, and then on the heel flap and gusset, I went up to a US 2 and do it that way so that it would be a little bit more roomy because I have a high arch. But yeah, this is the Beetlejuice colorway. I got this sock set from Off, which is Oregon Fiber Fall Fiber Festival. It's in Albany, Oregon in the fall. And she had these, and it was right about when Beetlejuice was coming out. And I did the color pop of the purple, and then I did the cuff in the green, and then this is the main color, and then I did the heel in the purple and the toe in the green. I got the very last sock set that she had, and it only had was it the purple? No, it was the green and the main color. And then she found me a mini to match for the purple because I wanted the purple mini too. Awesome. Awesome. And there's a new yarn shop in Springfield, Oregon called Stringfield Yarn Collective. And Always Be Kind Yarn can be found there. They're a little bit different because they stay open until like 7 o'clock at night, and they're closed on Tuesdays and not Mondays. And I think they're open on Sundays. Let's see. I'll try to link them below. So you can check them out. Yep. 11 to 7. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Saturdays are 9 to 4 and Sundays are 11 to 5. It makes it nice when you know that when you have an odd schedule. I mean, I know everybody needs a day off. Everybody deserves the days off. But Cozy Yarn in Eugene, Oregon, and now Stringfield in Springfield, Oregon, they're open on Sundays. And it makes it nice. I mean, Cozy Yarn is closed Monday, Tuesday, and Stringfield is only closed on Tuesdays. But they stay open until 7 o'clock at night because, I mean, if you open at 9 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and most people are at work by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning and don't get off until 5 or 6, it makes it difficult for us to be able to go because we have a lot of errands to run usually on Saturdays. So we've gotten it to where we run, because I'm off 3 days, so we run errands one day I do whatever I want on the next day, and then we're, just up in the air on the third day. The other thing that I finished, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I don't really have a whole lot to show, but it is a lot of finished items for me. Um, the other thing that I finished is another headband. It's still damp, so I'm not going to show it to you. I just finished it and I finished it last night and I washed it this morning. This is done out of 100% mercerized cotton, and it's called Unique Cotton Self-Striping. DK weight, 100% mercerized. I have two colorways. This one is 1084, and you can machine wash on cold and lay flat to dry. I just did the hand washing. And then I have 1078. This is 1078. I balled it up. I just haven't done it yet. This didn't take a whole skein, but this is a crocheted granny stitch. You start out with just one down here, and then you're just adding all the way up. It's a free pattern off of Ravelry. Let's see, did I put it in my favorites? It's a free pattern, but when you look at it on Ravelry, you can you get sent somewhere else for the pattern. Here it is. And I'm just going to show you this picture. The only difference in what I did is this has the strings to tie underneath, and I don't like that. And I had a pattern for similar that didn't use strings, it just connected it. And all I did was make it until the point that I wanted the strings. And then I do a single crochet along the front band, because this is how it's going to be sitting on my head. And it's probably going to poof out some, but this is going to be at the back of my head and this is at the front. When it gets to where I want the strings, when I do that single crochet across that flat part, I just single crochet them together, which is nothing more than doing that last single crochet stitch and then slip stitching into the other one and then knotting it, and then I'll just weave in the end right there. So that's how I do that. Again, it smells like jasmine. I just let the yarn do what the yarn does. It's still damp, so I can't do anything. I've made them before out of some fingering weight yarn that I have with a G hook. You can go down a hook size. This is with a G hook, which is a 4mm crochet hook. So it's a little bit larger than the fingering weight one that I've made. I've worn it on the podcast before. It's kind of a variegated pink. I dyed that yarn, made the headband. I sewed it together at the back like that, and I just use a bobby pin here and here, and it'll sit all day. I like to wear them because my hair this time last year was in a short pixie cut, and it's taken a year to get it grown out. And it's at that point where it's all over the place. I mean, it's really all over the place. I have tucked hair behind my ear since I've started the video, and that's because it just falls out of the ponytail. By the end of the day, my ponytail is just all hanging out. So that's that one. I'm going to keep these ball bands. Not that one, but I'll keep the other one to show when I get the other one done. What else do I have here? I feel like I'm talking really quick too. Finished objects. I have this cute little bag. It's for cross stitch. I threw something else in it though, because I have made some dishcloths. Fiber Hustle had their thing going in April where 1 week you make as many dishcloths as you can. And I was doing that, but did I take pictures or post on time? No, I did not. I also made a potholder. So out of this Crafty Secret cotton, I think it comes from Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure. This is the colorway City. It's just 100% cotton. I made a Bev's turn in on itself pot holder. You can find that on Ravelry. It makes it a double thick pot holder. I really like these. It's nothing but single crochet all the way around, and it just kind of puts itself in on itself, and then you can either single crochet it closed. I think like I did this one. Is that what I did? No, I sewn these through the back loops. This one I sewn through the back loop. This one is made out of sugars and cream. This is the, oh, it doesn't have a color name. Overcast Twist is what it's called. I did the same thing, but I did a single crochet close on that one, so it gives you that standout rib. I was trying to see what it would look like. I don't like that. And yes, they're bigger. This is on the stitch count that the Bev's turn in on itself gives. And then I think I added like 10 stitches to this one. But it's okay. I mean, I don't mind it sticking up there, that seam, but it's not my favorite. What else do I have? These have been sitting for a while. This is what I've been doing. I've been all over the place doing things. So, I don't know. This is just a dishcloth. Again, it's crochet. I think it's a half double, chain one, half double, and then on the next round you half double in the chain stitch, chain one, half double, and then whenever you finish you can just single crochet all the way around it, or you can just leave it like it is. That's also on that secret Crafter's Secret cotton in the City colorway. And this one, oh, there's two here, is in I Love This Cotton from Hobby Lobby. And this color is 326 Curry. So this again is the half double crochet, chain one, half double crochet. This one is without the single crochet on the edges. And then this one is kind of a V stitch. So it's like a double chain, double, and then you're going into the middle. They're kind of creased because they've been folded in there for a while, because I did them before I would have, about a week or two before I would have podcast last. And so they've been in there for quite a while. But these are soft. Um, some of them are rough. The softer ones will probably be for bathing, the rough ones for dishes. But everybody talks about they hate the sugar and cream because it's so rough and so hard to work with. Well, cotton's rough unless you get 100% mercerized cotton like these, or like the I love this cotton like this because it's super soft. Um, I've had these in my stash. I just got the unique cotton, so that's a new one to me. But things like the sugar and cream and the I love this cotton and the crafter secret, I've had in stash for so long, and I'm trying to use them up. I do like making my own dishcloths. I like making my own dish towels. And if you make a dish towel, tangent again, a dish towel is just make it as wide as you want it instead of doing the dishcloth size. Just make it wider and make it into a rectangle instead of a square. This one I just crochet until the two. So this is my starter edge. I crochet until I can take my starter edge and move it to the top corner of where I'm working, and the edges meet and it makes a triangle. That's how big I make my dishcloths and my washcloths. Um, if you want to make a dish towel, you can basically do the same thing. You start with your chain edge, but just take a kitchen towel that you use all the time and just do a chain for as long as it is. And then just go up about 10 or 12 inches, depending on how big you want it. Then you can just make it as big as you want. For those, I like to use the mercerized cotton because they can get wet, but it's, I don't know, they just act different. But anyway, what I was going to talk about the sugar and cream is a lot of people complain about using it and how rough it is on your hands and how rough feeling it is once it's made. But honestly, it's cotton, it's a dishcloth or a washcloth. You're going to throw it in the washer and dryer, and after you've washed it once or twice, it's soft. I mean, I haven't had any issues. I I have some linen dishcloths that I made. I think I showed. They're purple and a little face thingy. And I have some of this left. And I'm possibly going to make a washcloth and a face scrubby with that. And the face thing is I cast on like 10 to 12 stitches, and I just go back and forth, just crocheting single crochets back and forth all the way across. And then I hold it up to my fingers like so. And then I make it twice that length. And then I fold it over. And then I single crochet down both edges. And I flip it right side out or inside out, whatever you want to call it. And then I have something that I can put over my fingers like so. And I can put my micellar water or my face cleanser or whatever. And I can just use my 2 fingers and a cloth and just hold it. I've made the little circle scrubbies. I don't like using those cotton, um, face cotton thing wipes, or the throwaway disposable makeup remover wipes. I can make one of those. I can do it on this side today. I can use this side tomorrow, or this side this morning, this side tonight, and then I can wash it. Or I can rinse it out and use it again. It's really up to you. That coffee's good. For finished items, that's all I have for finished. I was really thinking that I would have more than that, but I don't. I have god awful amounts of whips, as you know. But one that I've been working on a lot is my Quadrophenia blanket, and I now have 2 of my triangles done. Nothing but scraps, and I have 2 done. These have not been blocked. They're just finished. Nothing but scraps. And once I get the other 2 finished, I haven't picked up for the 3rd one yet. I need 4 of these. I thought I had a pin for what side. There it is. This is the right side. It's strictly garter stitch, but you have your ends woven on one side. Once you get the all of the pieces made, they get sewn together like this, where the points here, these points are the middle, and it gives it that, I can't hold it where you can actually see it, and it gives it that look. And then the ends here, where you've done the straight edge, those are the edge of the blanket. I still have 2 more to make. I doubled down, really got to work, finished the first one, started the second one, finished the second one within 2 or 3 days, and then I was like, no. When we went camping for Mother's Day weekend, I took it, and that's what I worked on the weekend, so I had that finished, the second one finished that weekend. But then I just kind of like haven't picked it up and started the 3rd one yet. I really do need to, but I just haven't. What else have I got in the works? Sorry, I keep bending down because I have everything like down on the floor beside me. So that makes a big difference. I know I've linked the Quadrophenia so many times. I'm not going to put it back on here. It's from Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears. I just started watching that podcast. It's actually kind of interesting. And I know that Dan Jones, her husband, says a couple times, like in the one that just came out, it must be the teacher in him. So I'm assuming that he's a teacher, but he does those history type videos within the video. So I was just wondering if he was a history teacher. That would be interesting. I don't know. I like history, so I'm like, One of my coworkers at work had been taught to knit before, so she knew how to knit. But she did not know how to knit in the round. It's something new for her. So she asked me to teach her how to knit in the round. And she wanted to make this hat that she saw. And it's a Christmas hat. And she's been finished with hers. It's so cute. It's got these cables on it on both sides. It's got a long white brim. It's got these cables. And then it'll have two little pom-poms on it. Let's see, what's it called? It's the Big Bang Theory's Penny's Christmas hat. So, it's that hat right there. She found the pattern on Etsy. And she didn't know how to make it. Now the cables here, each one of these cables will go up into it splits here and goes off into two tails, and that's what the pom-poms hang off the back of. But this is mine. It's made out of, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's soft. It's cute. That's how far I got, because once she was taught how to go in the round and read the pattern for in the round, she took off. She didn't need me anymore. Now I'm teaching her how to knit socks. And she's having a little bit more difficult time with the heel flap and gusset, because I wanted her to learn the heel flap and gusset because I think she would be better off, and then she could go from there on what she wanted to do from there. It was just easier to teach her the heel flap and gusset. I have these are some yarnable socks. I don't remember, they're from last year. I don't remember what month, but I did a pop of yellow. I did the pink. I did a short foot, and that's what she was doing. And then I've gotten the heel flap, and I'm just ready to start doing my gusset. So I'm trying to catch up. I am all tangled. Oh my goodness. And I'm in the middle of the row. Teaching her at work on breaks that are only like 15 minutes long, and lunches where she has an hour lunch and I have a half an hour, but she tries to come over at lunch and she'll say, "Hey, I'm stuck," and I'll stop what I'm doing and I try to show her what to do, and then she sits and knits while I'm doing computer work or what have you. So I get stuck in the middle of doing. But she was really quick at picking up the hat, and so I showed her how to magic loop, because once she got the hang of it, she was wanting to pull it tight here, pull the needles tight, and she was pulling the wrong needle, but it took her only an hour to figure it out. Once she got that figured out, she was able to do the cuff and the leg, no issue. But the heel flap, I don't know what it is. She started out, she's got the knit slip and then purl part down, but she did the instead of having the knit stitches on the outside, she had the purl bumps on the outside. And I told her, she asked me, because she just got turned around, and she asked me a question that I'm going to put out there for you guys. Um, because she had the pearl bump on the outside, was that going to make that much of a difference? And I didn't know how to answer that. I was like, it's the same construction. The only difference is you've got the pearl bumps, so it's bumpy on the outside and smooth on the inside. And this woman wears dresses and sandals and high-heeled shoes 90% of the time to work. So she told me, she's like, I don't think I would like the bumps against my foot. So I was like, you know what? The only way to find out if it's going to be a difference is to do it. If you like it and it wears okay, that would be awesome. The only thing that I was worried about is the pearl bumps rubbing on the shoes. But honestly, I don't see where it would be that big of a difference, because a lot of the texture in texture socks is pearl bumps on the top of the foot or on the leg, or, something of that matter. And that's rubbing on shoes all the time. So I don't see where it would make a difference. Huh. I'll have to think about that. Yeah, so these are 1x1 rib. And then just plain stockinette knitting. I'll show you the cake. This is the cake of yarn, as messy as it is. And then I did the pop of yellow on the top of the rib. And there's the pink for the rib. And here you can see that I'm using the yellow for the heel, and I'll use the pink for the toe. This bag needs cleaned up. I need to sew in some ends. I'm kind of waiting to see when we go back on Tuesday, because she had taken apart the heel flap. Oh my God, I gave her some green yarn that I had that was wound into a ball for some reason. I think I had used a little bit of it for something else, and it was 100-gram skein of yarn, and I used it for something else, and I had some left over, and I wasn't going to use it, so I gave it to her. At this point, we're probably going to have to, if she still doesn't have it by Tuesday, we're going to have to cut it and go over, because she has knitted the heel flap and taken it out so many times that you could see it was starting to look a little frayed. I did give her, Summer Lee has her It's So Basic socks on Ravelry for free, so I printed that out for her. And let's see if I can find it. It's a free pattern, so it wasn't a problem to give it to her. I don't see it. But she goes into so much detail that it's just a good start for anybody who's learning how to knit socks or needs some help with knitting socks. And she has videos, and it's amazing. I kind of got off there. What else am I doing? Oh, my grid Gambit is what I'm working on. I've been working on it all morning. I cast this on over a month ago. And Honestly, I really and of course, I'm just starting a new. I was baking bread earlier and I had to go get the bread out of the oven just as I started a new row. So here's my grid gambit. These are my colors. I love it. Let me show you the pattern. It is right there. It's by Samantha Guerin. I think that's how you say her name. I am using, I have it in my Delique train case, which if you haven't seen, there it is. I love the case. I don't like the way the handles are done. I think these handles could be a lot longer, and the shoulder strap that it has is totally useless. Um, but I love it nonetheless. I am using Treehouse Knits in the Dante Sierra Sport colorway. This is it caked up. I love it. And the color linen. And that is Soft and Sleek DK Yarn Bee. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's in the color linen. Um, again, Stash Yarns. People don't like to shop at Hobby Lobby, and I get flack for it all the time at work. But let me say something. I may not agree with their politics, so to speak. And I don't. I don't agree with it. I go in there 90% of the time either because I can't find something that I need from anywhere else without having to buy it online, one item, and pay shipping for it, because I refuse to give a very well known retail online store that starts with an A my money every single month just to have free shipping, because they have done some dirty backdoor charges with that in the past. And I've had round and round with them, so I don't do that membership anymore. Um, and so now it costs like $7 to have a $5 object sent to me if I was going to order from there. So it's either something that if I know that I can get something from there and I have enough to get free shipping, I'll do it that way. If not, it's either I'm paying one devil my money or I'm paying another devil my money. And I used to give one devil, rest in peace Joanne's, all of my money, but they couldn't manage money, so now they're out of business. So local yarn shops, I have one within 15 minutes of me. The others are within 45 minutes to an hour of me, and I have to make special trips to them or go when I'm going there. Or now I have one that will be open when I actually get off work, so I don't have to make a special trip on my day off. But it's hard when you don't have shop close to you. And when you do have a shop close to you, it's hard right now because of everything that's going on. Yarn is expensive. What used to be $18 a hank is now $25 a hank. Or yarn dyers and producers are going out of business. Um, there's affordable options. You can go to Walmart, you can get Red Heart, you can get Lion Brand. I don't like the way Lion Brand does business. I don't like the way they treat customers. In my case, how I was treated when I needed customer service. That could be totally different for other people, but I like the fisherman's wool. I like the mandala, the ombre mandala. There's certain ones that I like, but you can get it at Walmart. You can get Red Heart. Um, I need affordable yarns because I have yarns in my closet here behind me in boxes, and I have another closet over here. I have yarns in boxes that are like that Fiber Hustle yarn, the unique um, cotton that I got, the the spin cycle that's $40 a skein for 50 grams. You don't have to buy all of those. Those are wonderful, but you don't have to get them. So I've learned, I go into Hobby Lobby to get certain items, and I go in there to get yarn. I love this wool, and I like their hand dyed skeins. Their hand dyed skeins are like $16.99. I like those. That's what I go in there for. And now I have to go in there for fabric. So don't get me started on that one because the quilt shop is so expensive. Yeah. What else was I gonna show you? Oh, I was gonna show you my cross stitch. So I am a multifaceted crafter. I am not just a knitter. I'm not just a crocheter. I don't do art. Well, I do, but it depends on how you look at it. So here is my temperature cross stitch tree. This is just half of the trunk. And then there's January's limb, February, March, April, and then I'm up to date until yesterday with May. And then I was working on this part of the trunk. This is each leaf color coordinates with the highest temperature of that day. Took me a while to catch up because I didn't start it until March. So, but I got caught up last week. I got the branch for May done, and I got all of the leaves done for May up until yesterday. I sat down yesterday, so I was caught up to here. And then I did these 3 and these 5. No, I was up to here because I did 6. So I did 2, 4, 5, 6. This light blue one is where I had stopped. So I just did these last night. Maybe 12 stitches at the most for the leaf every day. So this comes, oh, let me take it out of that. I have it in a page protector. It's from Stitch Mommy. It's a temperature tree. That's what it's going to look like. I got it from Etsy. And the pattern is in, like, there's this right here is one section, and then section 2, and then 3, and then 4 and 5. So it's like right up the middle and down the middle this way, as you would normally do counted cross stitch to find your middle point. You've got 4 sections that you're working. So I did this first section, now I'm working on this section, and then next I'll be on this section because it goes January around to December, which is awesome. Not only does this pattern have the DMC colors for, it gives you a temperature range for the hot, the extreme, and the cold. And I think it's the extreme cold too. So for mine, the hot runs from 50 degrees. If anything's 50 degrees or below, it's one color, and then it changes all the way up to like 110 degrees. And then the extreme goes from 110 degrees all the way down to minus 10 degrees. So with that much range, depending on where you're at, you could do it for whatever extreme you're in. If you're in a really cold environment, say like Alaska, and it gets so cold in the winter, you might want to use one of the extremes or the colds or whatever. It's a really cool one. And what else do I have? I got the Nordic Knits book. I ordered this offline. My partner and I were talking not long ago about the book is $25. Why don't you go ahead and get that instead of getting more yarn and use the yarn that you have? Or how many patterns is in here, and you're spending anywhere from say $5 to $10 on a pattern, and you're spending $25 on a pattern book that has, oh, I don't know, I didn't even look to see, it's 44 patterns in here. This is the patterns that's in there. There's 44 of them, but there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patterns out of this whole book that I'm gonna knit. But if you think about it, say one pattern that I bought that I showed a minute ago, where is it? That's in my library. $8 for that one pattern. That's for the grid Gambit. On average, I spend $6 to $9 for a pattern. I have bought a couple of patterns on Ravelry in the past that did not have sizes on the main page. And then once I've purchased them, I realized they don't go up large enough. So I'm very careful now that if it doesn't have a size for like a sweater on the main page, I'm not going to purchase that pattern. I've learned the hard way. The same thing with this book. There's a sweater or two in here that I would love to have, but it does not go up large enough. It stops right at my edge, and it's a ½ inch shorter. Yeah, I could probably do some math or whatever to figure it out, add a stitch here, add a stitch there. But if I'm paying for the pattern, I shouldn't have to. Just saying. This whole size inclusive pattern thing has gone off the rails, but at the same, in my opinion, it's gone off the rails. But in my opinion, yes, us larger people need those patterns too. And it may be a little bit more expensive or a little bit harder for you to write the pattern to add it. Or, however, if you don't want to write the pattern to fit us, tell us how you're figuring it out so we can figure it out for ourselves. That doesn't make sense either, but I do know that some patterns are better off not in larger sizes. But if you're going to write a pattern to 54 inches, why not write it to 60 inches? I'm a 54.5 bust, and that's right on. And I don't wear tight fitting garments usually. This is as tight as I get. I want it to be looser. So I usually make something that's going to fit a 56 to a 60 size bust, just so that I have that positive ease. And if it's just, even if you make it to a 60-inch bust, that's still not inclusive to all sizes. And I get that. But it's really expensive for me to make a top for myself. If I want to use certain yarns and stuff like that, I mean, it's a whole different story. But that book I bought thinking, oh my gosh, I'll get some nice colorwork sweaters out of it. And I'm like, okay. So now I have to learn how to, I guess you would call it grading a sweater so that it would fit me, and learning how to do all of that math to incorporate it to fit my bust size. Because when you're doing color work, you have to have that or it's going to look horrible. So that I can make those sweaters. But there are 5 patterns in there, 5 or 6 patterns that I can make. It's like hats and shawls and a blanket or something like that I'm going to make that make up for buying the book. But the whole purpose of buying that book was to get the sweaters. And when you're having to shop online for a book like that, what I was getting at is it would be nice if you could see a layout of the patterns, and in the book description it says something about the sweater sizing that you have in the book. Like, I don't know, it would just be nice to have like a little stipulation on the bottom that says sweater sizes, finished bust circumferences, something to where you can look and see. Because unless you're in a bookstore that actually has the books, which I went to several local yarn shops and Barnes and Noble to look at the book ahead of time, and nowhere did I find it that I could look at it. So I thought that I would be okay, that it would be kind of size inclusive just a little bit, but no. There is one sweater in here that I could make that goes up to a 57-inch. And they say it's a men's sweater. But the woman's sweater that's in here that I wanted is only up to a 54. So, and a lot of times these books, the patterns are not separate on Ravelry. You can look at the patterns and it'll say it's in Nordic Knits or it's in so and so book, and you can't buy them separate. So, anyway, I have rambled on for over an hour. I know I can ramble. I am so sorry. I'm so glad to have you here with me. If you've stayed this long and listened to my rants and raves, I haven't had anybody to rant and rave to in a while. I'll try to remedy that in the future. With it's been a hard year with my mom in March. I was sick the first part of the year, and then having to fly home and deal with my mom's passing in March, and then coming back and getting sick right after that, and then just not. It's the anxiety, the depression, the weather, being back and forth, and not having the ability to keep my mind on one project and get done with something before it's just all over. And knitting and crochet and cross stitch is always been my thing for anxiety and calming. And it's just the little things like the dishcloths and potholders have helped, or trying to show someone else how to do something. Because quite frankly, someone asked me to make them a pair of socks, and I'm like, no, I can teach you how, but I'm not going to make them for you anymore. That was at work. I still make socks all the time, although I need to start making some for that would fit other people's feet besides mine and my partner's. I had some fabric to show, but this has gone on long enough. I will show it later. It's on my ironing board there. I went to the quilt shop yesterday, and I got something that I'm really gonna love. So thanks for sticking with me. Sorry about it being all over the place. We'll get back into it soon. Thank you. Bye.